Paris and France. I found a little romance. She goes walking down the boulevard. I know I should have been good. I never thought that I would double cross and baby.
Why hello there, dear viewer. Breaking news! I have something to add to part 1 of this series that seemed to have happened the same day that my first video on Lindsay Ellis came out. I was planning to do a full analysis of Breach of Peace by Daniel Green before I was going to do another Lindsay video, but this kind of thing is tied to the first part, so this is why I'm calling it part 1.5. I think that if she continues to make updates or completely shocks the world by returning to YouTube, then it's appropriate to consider those as something else. This right here is simply her adding to her goodbye letter, and she actually makes some things clear. Some are hilarious and others are downright infuriating. Expect me to be a bit more rambunctious this time around. So sit back, relax, and grab your celery sticks and some orange juice and let's go! The update she gives us is appropriately named Failed Update, and it begins as so. I keep trying to write an update that will give some illusion that I have some kind of path forward in mind, but every time I start, it just all comes out rage and bile. I know that it's hard to understand what she's saying most of the time, because she's always speaking in this weird secret code with awkward grammar, but it's okay. I can translate because I speak pretentious retard. She is saying that she didn't plan anything after quitting YouTube, and now she's in a panicked mode about where she will make money for her company of 8 employees. Later on, she does complain more about her company and how it's hard to be a business owner. And that's when everyone who's thought of making their own business is like, duh. As for her rage and bile, she's saying she can't stop digressing about useless petty grievances because she's an emotional creature. But don't you dare think that's because she's a woman. It's because those evil Twitter woke scolds and diet Nazis called her mean names and asked for her to apologize for offending people in relation to her own personal narrative as to what is offensive. And it's because she's a woman.
Gotcha, bitch!
I'm just so fucking angry I can't function, let alone make coherent business decisions. I hate to hammer in the same joke twice, but I don't think that's because she's angry. I think it's because she is a woman. Both not being able to function and not being able to make coherent business decisions is all part of being a woman. Don't believe me? Look at Disney Star Wars and look at Caitlyn Kennedy. I rest my case. Also, to be honest, I don't think Lindsay has been able to function or make a coherent business decision her entire life, let alone when she's angry. I mean, she joined Channel Awesome and was alone in a room with Linkara for corn's sake. That's like covering a fish with honey and berries and throwing it into a bear's den. But I'm sure the only reason Linkara kept his filthy mitts off of her merchandise is because she didn't have anything shaped like a big fat stupid cock that he wanted to get his paws on. In some ways, I regret the tone of the last post. Yeah, you better. Not because of how it inflamed my agitators. Well, not only that, but because of how much it upset people. I can only imagine why it upset people. It's not like her entire goodbye letter was aimed at making her the victim of a Twitter spat 9 months later, and then through her convoluted word salad she wraps it up with, I'm quitting, but I will still like money for my employees because they have children and please think of the children. Ha, okay, whatever. Your child deserved death, and their children deserve my money. Okay, sure, whatever you say, bitch. But she doesn't think that's what's upsetting. Instead, this is what she thought was upsetting. In a way, it was selfish, being so naked about how hurt and angry I was/am, because it doesn't really help anything. You know what also doesn't help anything? Telling us you're angry, but never saying why you're angry. Isn't that just like a woman? They pout, they stamp their feet, they fill their panties with blood, they slam doors, they type a bunch of nonsense on their Patreon, and then when you ask them what's wrong, they do the typical nothing. Because telling the people what is the issue allows people to solve the issue. Women don't want the issue solved. Because if the issue is solved, they have nothing to be emotional about, and then they have nothing to get your attention. The fantastic, mysterious issue is the woman's weapon against men and other women. Nobody cares that you're angry, Lindsay. If anything, you're angry at yourself for following a toxic ideology and falling into the mainstream media trap of thinking that random Twitter people being mad on the internet means anything. But heaven forbid Lindsay realize that kind of thing, because that would require her to be the blame of her own actions, and we can't have that happening. She's angry, and there's no time to blame her for anything, especially when it's her fault. Doesn't help me, only upsets people who supported me or liked my work, sends my detractors into a rage for insinuating that their actions might cause hurt, even to people who they think deserve to be abused, and all in all just plays into the cancel culture narrative of reactionaries and diet Nazis. What the fuck is she even saying anymore? I swear, I think I've entered a portal into the Yu-Gi-Oh! Toon world or something by reading her writing, because almost nothing makes sense anymore. Am I alone in this? I am always given two paths to choose with this bitch. Either she's saying something straight, or she's being sarcastic, and I cannot tell what she's saying with either way right now. If we choose path A, we have to believe that detractors are angry that their actions are hurting people they don't like, and that cancel culture only exists in the minds of people she disagrees with, meaning cancel culture doesn't exist. If we choose path B, we don't know what to think, because I have no idea what this means if it's sarcastic. Would it mean her detractors aren't harming people? Would it mean that cancel culture exists in her eyes? Is this the right moment for sarcasm? I am going to be fair and think that she's not being sarcastic at the worst time possible. And I will believe she thinks the people who support her are upset at her anger. That right there, totally understandable. But for detractors to care about harming people they hate, and for cancel culture to only play as part of a diet Nazi narrative, that's the exact opposite of what she said previously. It's been like 10 days, Lindsay, and you already take back 2 of your most important world views? Do you have the brainworms? But it's okay, guys, because she's totally functional. She's not flip-flopping, it's nuanced. I'm not gonna tell you how it's nuanced, and I don't know what she's saying either, but trust me, it's totally not flip-flopping. Get fucked, Lindsay. I, like so many others, am dead dog tired of this doublespeak. At this point, it's not even doublespeak. It's you speaking in tongues because only someone possessed by the devil would be this nonsensical during such a serious moment. She quit her job. She's been reduced to a housewife with the brain of a radical feminist girl boss. I pray for her husband now that she's no longer occupying herself with content creation, and she thinks in her totally correct and how she handles things way that she is supposed to be sarcastic, irrational, and tell everyone who's paying to read this that her detractors don't have any intention to harm her. She went mental because of her detractors, and compared herself to Britney fucking Spears, where they drove her crazy, and she just couldn't sleep. She was so excited, and she's in too deep. But it feels alright, and they keep her up at night. Diarrhea. Truly a lose-lose. I shouldn't have framed it in the way that I did, but then again, I genuinely did not think it would get that much attention outside of Patreon. So, the only reason she framed it that way, as horribly and poorly as she did, was because she thought only the people who support her and give her money would read it. Even though in her goodbye letter she talks about how she can't even stick to Nebula because people who don't like her would follow her there and pay to hate on her because it's a video platform with a membership requirement. Lindsay, do you hear that? That strange frantic tapping noise? Do you know what that is? It's me pressing X to doubt, you scumbag. So I was going to write this long post about monthly cost breakdown and how a company with multiple employees earning thousands of dollars per month is in no way near the same as an individual earning the same. But then I realized I never really planned such a thing, and we were just winging it because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Oh, I'm sorry, it doesn't say that. I was just talking out loud and editing it for her so that it has a bit more honesty. Instead, what she actually said was, "But then I realized, why bother? These people don't care. Long and short." That's not how it works, but go on. "Businesses are tedious, boring, and expensive to run. Comments still need moderating, and the PBS contract isn't done." She didn't know what she was doing. She didn't understand how to run a business before starting one. She is literally paying someone to moderate her comment sections, and she is still going to do something for PBS until her contract is over. I forgot if I mentioned this in the last video, but she does work for an online branch of PBS, and she made about 21 videos for them, and the last one made was about 3 years ago. I'm not sure if she made more since her last It's Lit video back in 2018, but whatever is in her contract. I have no idea if she actually has to make content for them, or just keep an online profile until the contract is over through some kind of loophole. But when she says business is tedious, boring, and expensive to run, allow me to touch upon something I didn't realize in the last episode. When Lindsay spoke about Standard, the company, and Nebula, the video streaming platform, she is a fucking founder of Standard. She is part of Standard, the company. I am not sure what her position is, and I'm not sure if she was smart enough to tie herself into the company well enough so she gets some of that revenue that's 50-50 between Standard, the company, and the content creators on Nebula, the platform. What is weird is that she never mentions her company is Standard. She always talks about employing 8 people, and she never mentions any money coming in from Standard, the company. This is suspicious, and I wish she was honest about this particular subject because this could allow us to understand what her relation is with Standard, the company. She acts like she has no power in Standard, the company, even though she is a founder of the company, and I can't find any information to clarify what exactly is going on. Then, to add to this, if you look at her net worth, you will find out that her estimate net worth is about $1 million. And I think she has a video and was like, sure, I have $1 million, I wish. And I think I know why she doesn't have $1 million. Because she spends gallons of her money on things like paying somebody a fucking living wage to delete comments. On videos, she's also planning to delete, instead of putting that money into anything that can grow her income. Lindsay, get a Robinhood account. Put your money in GameStop or AMC because you like movies more. Anything so you can stop with this passive-aggressive e-begging. I didn't have a plan to jump to, I only knew that I couldn't do YouTube anymore, or any kind of opinion-based content creation when having a milquetoast banal observation on a goddamn Disney movie is what napalmed my life in the first place. Raya didn't ruin your life. For the upteenth time, you inbred Miss Swan-looking foreign exchange student from Tennessee. I have no idea why she keeps on making such a big hullabaloo about something that never happened. Okay, maybe her Raya tweet made her look bad and had her lose her company position with Standard, the company, and that's why she doesn't get money from it. Maybe? Right? Does that seem logical? Well, she never says that, and she never explains how she had her life ruined by the tweet, other than, it made me sad and angry. I swear, if this is all because of her emotions and nothing about her finances or being kicked out of a company position, she is a drooling monkey elbow pad wearing strapped to the back of the short bus kind of special. I don't even know how I can keep writing because my name is attached to my books. Why don't you pull a Joanne and use a pen name, you precious little snowflake? Lindsay, don't you remember when you used your pen name, Sarah Ellinson, to write your Twilight parody involving a girl falling in love with Cthulhu? Do you remember that, Lindsay, you sweet and innocent little darling? Did you know, Lindsay, that you can use a different pen name? You don't have to use your real name on the internet of all places, Lindsay. And you know what? She can even act as a ghostwriter for others. She can be a freelancer. There's so many options. But I'm sure none of these options stroke her ego enough, so they are off the table. She's totally fine with paying for other people's healthcare with Patreon money that other people donated. But the thought of doing a 20/80 split with another person for her alien hentai? Oh my goodness, the utter thought of it is making my anus rupture and bleed as if I fell ass first into a square doorknob. And my name is the thing that's most toxic. I would say it's your personality, but your name is a pretty close second. So the only thing I'll say now is that this abbreviated post is all I have while I figure out how to add value to this Patreon account in ways that don't involve me being on camera. This nightmare never ends. If by nightmare she means her constant digression into meaningless dribble, then I fully agree. I like how she thought this was adding value to her Patreon account. Plot twist, it didn't. All she did was add more nonsense on top of nonsense. Lindsay went straight to the kitchen where she belongs and whipped us up a beautiful nonsense and shit sandwich. Her fans took a big meaty bite and they smiled because they loved the taste of shit and nonsense. It's like peanut butter and jelly to them. So, what did we learn today? Well, it seems that we learned how she has no real position on cancel culture, because it changes depending on how brown her pee is in the morning. She reveals she doesn't know how to run a business, and I guess she's admitting she shouldn't be angry when writing a post about leaving YouTube and all of her loyal fans, but she ends up being angry in her failed update that says she shouldn't be angry. I don't know. I understand I'm not the best reader, their side of the Mississippi, but am I reading this entire thing wrong? Did I miss something? Let me know in the comments. For me, it's like she keeps making a boo-boo, and then she grabs for a band-aid. But she doesn't know what a band-aid is because she's from another planet, so she quickly grabs a salted lemon and rubs it into her wounds. And then goes, "Oh no, I didn't want this to happen. Somebody else sabotaged me, and it wasn't me, I swear." This one was short, thank God. And all I really had to add after this is that if you want to start your own business, don't pull a Lindsay. If you are a founder of a corporation that makes a lot of money, don't pull a Lindsay. If anything, I should write a book called How to Be the Best Businessman in the Whole Wide World. And then there's just one sentence in the book that says, do the exact opposite of what Lindsay Ellis does. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Doug and Channel Awesome are more functional and less toxic as a company and company founder than Lindsay and her stupid company. Make fun of Doug Walker all you want. That freaking whack job has outlived Lindsay in the internet world simply by screaming incoherently and with 1/10 of the subs as Lindsay's gained. I'm just awestruck at the realization that Lindsay knows all these celebrities, she got a contract with PBS, she has a book deal with St. Martin's Press, which is a US extension of a Big 5 publisher called Macmillan over in the UK. She found a fucking educational video platform full of bread tubers who are raking in cash, and here she is saying that she doesn't know how to do anything when it comes to business. At this point, I don't know if she's lying, or if everyone in her circle is just as incompetent. Like, maybe there's a third option where people around her are telling her what to do and she does the opposite? I don't know. What I do know is that the next video I do on her is going to be about her origins. Who is she? How did she start? Where did it all go wrong? My money is going where she took a college course in film study and got caught up in critical feminist theory. But I'm always happy to be corrected as we learn more about the lore. Till next time.